Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today, yes, we are back for another brand new video. In today's video, we actually come into it with a bit of positivity from the weekend. I know it's been a wee while, ladies and gentlemen, because not only did we get the result, which was of course important, we actually got the performance, and that was just as important as anything else because it showed you that the players have the managers back and the manager has the players back by unleashing them from the horseshoe handcuffs that's been dragging us down all season long. So now it's time to take that positivity in our last Champions League game of the season, as it's a truly glamour tie at Ibrox versus Ajax. Now, of course, this isn't the first time I've played Ajax this season. Now, you notice from the phrasing right there, I said played. Normally, when we do these oppositional previews, I say battled, but we didn't lay a finger on them on opening day. So I can't say battled. We got outran, outfought, and outworked from the very first whistle. Surely we'll offer a little bit more and back ourselves a little bit more going into this game, especially with it being at Ibrox. Well, we'll discuss that in the next couple of minutes, but first, again, it is time for that oppositional update, as Ajax have came into this game versus Rangers having reclaimed this top spot at the Dutch football by 1 point over fellow rivals PSV, and Ajax have one less game as well, so their slow stuttering start in terms of Dutch football has well and truly been fixed since we last saw them, as they're back where they belong, at the tippity top. Now right there is actually a very, very interesting contrast. The longer you watch today's video, the more that will come to light, because domestically they've been absolutely fantastic recently, scoring 15 goals in the last 3 games, including an absolute pumping of a 7-1 scoreline. Didn't do it, lads. Just didn't do it. But pulling it back from domestic level, where again they've been fantastic, looking in at European level, it's been horrific, and it's got to be said, as blunt as this is going to come out the mouth, people, but they are very, very lucky they've been in a Champions League group with us this season, because if you take us out of it, they have been absolutely horrific since pumping us on opening day, and it's got a lot of people questioning the manager, a lot of people questioning these players, and there's a lot of people questioning this entire organisation because of how poor they've been in the Champions League this season. Because a lot is getting made about how many goals Rangers have conceded in the Champions League. Rightly so, it's absolutely embarrassing as we edge closer to what is the worst ever team in terms of goals conceded in a Champions League. It does genuinely look horrific, but if you actually pay attention to it, Ajax are only 4 goals off us. The 4 goals they pumped against us separates them from us. That's how truly horrific they've been in the Champions League. I mean, they conceded 10 goals in the 2 games versus Napoli, including a 6-1, and if we didn't get absolutely slapped 7-1 of Liverpool, it would be Ajax having the worst result in the Champions League this season, which is again why, if we're pulling it back to a statement I made 30 seconds ago, they are very, very lucky they're in a group with us, or the manager would probably end up being punted by now, and a lot of people having a lot more harsher questions about this Ajax side, which is again brimming with quality, brimming with talent, but is severely underperformed, especially against Napoli in that double header. And after a promising display at Anfield after beating us 4-0 on opening day, they went ahead and played Liverpool in their last Champions League match on their patch at Ajax's stadium and got played off the park in a 3-0 win as well. Yes, they maybe had a wee couple of opportunities here or there, but they were just a shadow of what they could possibly be versus Liverpool, which is again bringing some very interesting conversations points about how good this Ajax side actually is. Now, I can't break down the latest game in terms of domestic football because the Dutch FA gave them the weekend off once again to prepare for Rangers, which now makes it the second team this season to be given the weekend off from a league fixture to prepare to play Rangers. Here's hoping the end result is very similar to the last team that done that, as we said, and took Sahan for PSV. But again, the reason the Dutch FA has given them this opportunity is just to make sure they get over the line, because it's vitally important for them to have European football after Christmas. And despite how horrific we've been, again, they've been right there with us, because believe it or not, it's still not over and done in terms of European football. However, because of the way we put ourselves in on the opening day of the season, that 4-goal spanking at their stadium separates us and them for finishing third. So if we want European football after Christmas, we need to beat Ajax 5-0. But more on that in the next couple of minutes, because we have to finish up the Ajax side of today's video with nothing too drastic I need to break down in terms of how they play, how they go about the business. It's still the exact same from the last preview when we looked at it, and we've seen it now with our own eyes. It is sharp, direct, attacking football, and it's something that genuinely tore us to shreds on opening day. But that's the only thing that separates the two sides so far after 5 game weeks in the Champions League. That one game right there, those 4 goals. So it's all set up to be a very, very interesting encounter where again Ajax will be backing themselves under a lot of pressure as well from journalists and everybody talking about this Ajax side to not only get a win versus Rangers tomorrow, but put in a big performance and start trying to capture a wee bit more European respect than what's been ripped from them this season. So that in itself will bring its own pressure and hopefully backfire as it did for PSV. But aye, it's going to be a very, very tough test as they've all prepared all week for this game versus us. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's reached the end of the Ajax side. Now let's get to the Rangers side of today's video, which yes is bringing a smile on the Nasher for the first time in a long time. It sort of feels like. And that bright spark that I got from the weekend was more than just a good win or anything like that. It showed me there's still a wee bit of life in this team just yet, and hopefully we see that continue and develop, and the standard that was set versus Aberdeen is now the minimum of how we approach games. But where I get happy at that, I get sad in another way, because the injury list has somehow got worse, people. And again, without beating around the bush, our side of the chat, we talked about Ajax being poor and everything in Europe. We've been worse than them, and that says absolutely everything, people. It's been a really, really disappointing European campaign after fantastic campaign after fantastic campaign after fantastic campaign in Europe. We've now went into this one and been simply horrific, where I genuinely think we've got it wrong from every single possibility, from the recruitment when we got the Champions League, because to me it feels like we got the Champions League money, we put the controller down, or we gave it to our little brother to finish off. We were just happy to actually be there, and I wasn't really happy with that overall approach, and I certainly voiced my opinions on Giovanni setting almost the tone for our Champions League campaign after the very first loss versus Ajax, saying we can't compete. And I've hated all that, hated the way we approached the games, hated the way we went about our business. We genuinely looked defeated from the very first whistle. Before even going on the part with some of the lineups and all that was selected and that as well. So I've had a lot of frustrations about this Champions League campaign and been really let down in this Champions League campaign, and judged by all the comments I've been seeing continually over the last few weeks since honestly the Champions League group stages has started, you'll be feeling something similar and everything like that. So there is a lot of frustrations, but it's still one more game to go. You've got a home game to go out there and just give absolutely everything and go down fighting again, taking what we got from Saturday, which was positivity and looking at our team and actually being excited and actually seeing, look, this guy actually plays good football now, this guy actually plays, wow, you actually play the players that's actually on form, look what they can do to the squad. And I just hope going into this game, win, lose or draw, people, we stick to the standards that was set at the weekend. Play quickly, play direct, and play some attacking football, because that is what Rangers Football Club is built upon, people, and that's what I want to see tomorrow. But again, I can't go too much in this rabbit hole and give speeches or anything like Pacino on any given Sunday, people. I can't go ahead and do that today, because our squad has been rocked once again, because it's something we mentioned a minute ago. Another massive injury as we go into this game versus Ajax, where still technically things are there to be fought on, with another centre-back gone for the game, as Ben Davies hasn't trained ahead of the game. Now there is another press conference coming up, let's say, this afternoon, and honestly I've run out of ideas or ways to summarise these press conferences, because you get told one thing one minute and you get told the other the next minute. It's absolutely all over the place. So maybe Ben will play, but as it stands right now, he's not training ahead of the game. He's got a knock and ruled out, which means at the football club, right, we've got Goldson, we have Davies, we have Hollander, we have Suter, and we have Leon King, and we have James Sands, who can play centre-back. Do you know how many of them are actually fit to play going forward? An 18-year-old who's played 5 games for the club, and James Sands, who for me has showed his best performances at the football club at centre mid. That's what we have gone into this massive game versus Ajax tomorrow and possibly going forward. So there you are, people. There's the news you didn't want to hear regarding that, and that's genuinely the first domino. So didn't switch off just yet, because that domino has fell for. We have lost a Ben Davies. Fingers crossed it's nothing too long. We know he's been playing through the pain barrier, over the last couple of weeks and playing with a little bit of a niggle. We've heard that. We've seen him limited training and everything like that. So maybe it's just one of these cases where they're no wanting to risk it any further, so he's not out long term. But it looks as if he's out for tomorrow, and that there drastically changes the entire squad, because he's not the only one that's dropped out the squad. As of course John Lundstrom is suspended for the game, so we won't get to see the Lundstrom-Sands partnership in the middle of the park, which I was actually very, very impressed with, and something I want to see going forward, because it's legs, it's power, it's tackling ability. Loved that cameo of a partnership. But it's not just that, people. No. We lose that partnership, and also we lose James Sands for the middle of the park, as he then goes down to centre back again to partner Young King, which means our midfield two on paper right now looks as if it will be Stephen Davis and Scott Arfield versus Ajax in the Champions League. I'm getting a migraine. Anyway, people, that's all I really got to say about this game of football. All I want, win, lose or draw, is a performance that we can be proud of. When the whistle goes, we say, right, we went for it. I never felt like that in the first game versus Ajax. Now we have the opportunity to set that right. Despite everything that's gone wrong in terms of injuries and everything like that, there is no excuse for not putting in the work, and I'd love to see that hard work be given tomorrow night. And that's all I've really got to say. Again, it's very, very hard to predict because of the injury circumstances, the fact that they're pretty much fully fit and firing. It is extremely difficult. I think I'm going to do what I've done for the last game and predict a disappointing result, unfortunately, because again, I can't sit here and say we're going to beat them 4-0 or anything like that. But could we get a result tomorrow? Absolutely. Does it look likely? No, but who knows, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't think it will be that magical 4-0, although I'll take it if it's being offered this way. But what about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section below. How do you feel about the game 24 hours away? What do you want to see as a Rangers fan, as the Champions League group stage is coming to a close? What is your overall thoughts and opinions? Where can we improve? What can we do differently in the future? And just an overall thoughts and opinion on this would be absolutely fantastic if you don't mind taking a couple minutes out your day. But with that being said, I've been CJ Over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.